At the brand new UCF Arena in Orlando, Florida, it's a matchup of the UConn Huskies with an 8-2 mark out of the Big East, and the UCF Knights in Conference USA, a 5-5 record. I'm Carter Blackburn with Pete Gillen. Happy holidays to you. And Pete, thank you very much for the tie. My gift is in the mail. UConn spent much of the holiday week right here in Orlando, Florida, trying to become a better road team this year after a very disappointing season last year.
The University of Connecticut is one of the top 10 basketball programs in the country. But before last season, they lost 4 guys to the NBA from the previous year. They stumbled to a record of 17-14 and missed the postseason for the first time since 1987. They want to climb back and become one of the elite teams once again in the country.
Now, of course, one of the advantages of struggling as a young team last year is you get a year older. A guy like Jerome Dyson is now a talented sophomore.
Jerome Dyson is a special player. He's a great athlete. He can attack the basket in the open court. He can shoot threes. He penetrates. He's a warrior on the court. Coach Jim Calhoun loves him because he's a wonderful competitor. He's a leader. He could be a special 2 guard.
A 6'4" guard. He's not only averaging 14 points, but 5 rebounds per game for the UConn Huskies. Now, the UCF Knights a season ago won 22 games, in part because they shot the lights out.
UCF led Conference USA in all the important shooting categories last season. But this year's a different year. They're shooting very poorly. All their stats are down in the shooting categories. Why? Because they don't have an inside presence to take away pressure. They've had some injuries, and they're not shooting very well.
So much of that scoring load has fallen on Jermaine Taylor, who's been outstanding his first year as a starter.
Jermaine Taylor is a great athlete, and he's the go-to player for the Knights. He can shoot a mid-range game. He ranges threes from way downtown. He's a terrific player. He's going to have a monster game tonight to upset these Huskies.
The former 6th man, first year in the starting lineup, all he's doing is averaging 18.6 points per game, along with 4.5 rebounds per game. Last time these teams got together, UCF put a scare into UConn in the NCAAs in 2005. Can the Knights do it again, or will UConn get a road win tonight? We are northeast of downtown Orlando, Florida, on the campus of the University of Central Florida, UCF, where Jim Calhoun brings his UConn Huskies. Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun, now in his 22nd season as coaching the UConn Huskies, an 8-2 start. Only losses of the season to Memphis at Madison Square Garden, Gonzaga in Boston. This is their first true road game. Starting lineup with only 2 upperclassmen, A.J. Price, key among them at the point.
A.J. Price is an outstanding point guard. He's playing better and better. He missed 2 years with some rust, with injuries and other problems. He's terrific.
The UCF Knights now, coached by Kirk Spearon. They dropped the golden part of their nickname this season, but Kirk Spearon now in his 15th season at UCF. His starting lineup has O'Donnell, Noel, Taylor, Zondervan, and Billings. Dave Noel, key senior.
He's the one most indispensable player in their team. He plays lockdown defense. He shoots threes. He drives to the basket. He's a terrific player.
And now let's take a look at our Spalding Spotlight.
We have contrasting styles. UConn wants a frenetic pace. UCF wants a medium tempo, just play in the 60s. Also, long distance battle. Whoever rains threes is going to win. If one team gets hot from 3-point territory, they got a great chance to win this game.
That is certainly not what you think about UConn basketball, raining the threes, but they had 9 of them in a game against Gonzaga earlier this season. That was a loss. The only other previous meeting, the 2005 NCAA tournament first round, when UConn hung on. A late effort by UCF made that a 6-point game. So competitive meeting, the only other time these two programs have met. This one of the big early games in this new UCF arena. First year in this new building for the UCF Knights. Officials for tonight's game, James Breeding, John Higgins, and Steve Olson.
UCF comes out man-to-man, which I like to play most of the time.
Price covered up by O'Donnell at the head of the circle. This is A.J. Price, now a junior on this UConn team. Adrian underneath, and Stanley Robinson. It's the first 2 points for UConn, coming off a 32-point performance last week versus Maine.
He was great against Maine. He was just too athletic, too big, too strong, and it could be the case again this evening.
Stanley Billings at the top of the circle for UCF, a 5-5 team. Biggest wins of the year against Nevada and Penn State. They're coming off an 11-day break, which was a big cause for concern for Kirk Spearow.
It's a long break.
Zondervan and Billings both miss inside.
The big guys on UCF have trouble scoring inside. They don't finish. That was typical of problems so far this season for their post guys.
Price tries a three. Billings there for the rebound. This is O'Donnell, who played his freshman year at NC State, trying to lob. It's tipped away by Robinson. Trying to lob for Jermaine Taylor.
Poor decision by Mike O'Donnell. He's a very fine player, but that was not a good choice.
Rare from the senior point guard. So A.J. Price trying to set up UConn in the half-court set, using the screens from the big men. And now finding Dyson. Long three won't go. UConn's missed threes on its last two trips. This is UCF in transition, and a block by the nation's best shot blocking team. Stanley Robinson sails in. UCF gets the ball back.
Here we see drives to the basket. Stanley Robinson goes up to the moon. Not tonight. You don't see that too often in Conference USA.
Well, for the team who's led the nation in block shots the last 6 seasons, leading the NCAA in block shots per game so far this year. Jermaine Taylor cans a three to give UCF an early lead. How key is it for UCF to get off to a good start?
It's crucial. Once again, they got to say, hey, can we play with these Huskies? We see them on TV all the time. They won national titles recently, so they got to be convinced that they can play with these guys. So I think the first 5 minutes of this game is crucial for the Knights.
And even though they met just 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament, nobody on the UCF side of things was playing in that game. Both Mike O'Donnell and Dave Noel were transferring. O'Donnell from NC State and Noel from UNC Wilmington. So neither of those guys were actually on the floor against UConn 2 years ago.
I was at that game, Carter, in Worcester, Massachusetts, and Coach Spearow did a great job controlling the tempo, right, playing it, keeping them close, and hitting threes. So that's what they got to do this evening. Slow the tempo down, play a slower pace.
Dyson gets both of the foul shots. UConn back up one. Dyson, who played only 12 minutes Saturday versus Maine, but 100% after 6 days off. Spent some time in the Florida sun, feeling a lot better and ready to go. Taylor at the top of the circle, guarded by Robinson. Taylor gets some separation, but can't get the jumper to go. Adrian the board.
Heck of a move. Halfway down, the rim wasn't kind that time.
This is UConn's first true road game of the year. They've played 3 games away from Connecticut, but this is the first game on an opponent's home court.
Exactly. They have not heard a boo all year. Now, why does UCF want to play slow? Because they don't have the athletes of the depth that UConn has.
O'Donnell tries a three, buries it, and UCF has hit a couple of early threes to take a 6-4 lead.
It's raining threes on one end of the court, Carter.
And that's what you told us was going to be a key for UCF, to knock down those 3 looks.
It's their only chance if they want to win this game. Only chance.
Dyson feeding the beat inside, and he's fouled by Stanley Billings, who's had problems with fouls through the first 10 games of the season.
Coach Calhoun now, he doesn't like it. He eats his cornflakes angry a lot of times. Day of the game. He's a great coach and a terrific competitor.
That 8-2 mark mentioned the only 2 losses were to Memphis, and Jim Calhoun basically said, all right, we lost to Memphis, they're a great team. The one that got in his crawl was the loss to Gonzaga, a game that was played in Boston. So almost a home floor for the UConn Huskies playing in Boston at the New Garden there. But that was the game that he thought these Huskies let slip away, which is what happened over and over again last season in a 14-loss year for the Huskies.
They couldn't close the deal. They were too young, too inexperienced.
Hasheem Thabeet gets one of the 2 free throws, and UConn shows a little pressure in the backcourt as Tony Davis is checked into the game for UCF. This is Taylor off the screen, in tight, swatted away by Thabeet. Second block already by the Huskies. Block number 35 of the year for Thabeet.
They got to be smart now. You can't take it into the teeth of the big guy. Right? Superman. Can't do that.
And an offensive foul on the inbound. That is O'Donnell, and that's his second. So the 5th-year senior point guard not barely over 3 minutes in, has 2 personal fouls.
Can't lose him. He plays 35 minutes a game. He plays more minutes than anybody else on UCF. They cannot get him in deep foul trouble now. If A.J. Price is smart, he'd attack the basket. Let's see if he does, or does he sit on the perimeter and try to shoot threes?
And correction, that foul was not on O'Donnell. The foul was on Tony Davis. So you have 1 on O'Donnell and 1 on Tony Davis. So the foul was not on O'Donnell. He gets to stay in the game, but misses the 3. This tempo has to favor UConn, doesn't it?
No question. No question. It's too fast a pace, in my opinion, for UCF.
Jeff Adrian finishes with the offensive board, which is one of the big concerns for UCF. They have been beaten soundly on the boards the last 4 games.
UConn beats their opponent by 12 rebounds per game. So UCF is a poor rebounding team. So the less possessions, the better it is for UCF.
Knights get that one, but can't hit on the second chance. And Zondervan lets it roll out off of Connecticut. So the Knights get to keep it.
Coach Spiro, one of the things he does the best is control the tempo with the half-court offense. But I think the UCF players are too excited now, Carter. They got to calm down, take some Valium, and just chill out a little bit and play.
Another foul underneath. This is on the beat as Zondervan was cutting to the hoop. Hashim Thabit picks up his first. Added with that last block by Thabit. 28 blocks in the last 5+ games.
They average over 9 a game. Led the country, you said before, Carter, 6 years in a row. Could be number 7 in a row.
Davis wide open underneath. Gilbert couldn't get there, rather Edwards couldn't get there to block it. And UCF back up a point. And Dyson throws it away on the other end. First turnover for the Huskies. UCF out to an 8-7 start against the mighty Huskies. When you think UConn basketball, you think defense and you think block shots. For good reason. They have led the nation in blocks the last 6 seasons, which is an amazing defensive number.
It's amazing. And this year they're leading them again with 9.4 blocks per game. So they got a chance 7 in a row. It's never been done before. And here's the main guy, Hashim Thabit. He's a wrecking machine in the lane. They got to understand at UCF. They can't bring the ball into this monster all the time. They got to bring him away from the basket.
Thabit has a block. Robinson has a block in the early going. And again, the Huskies leading the nation again this year in blocks per game. They force a turnover by UCF, 3rd in the early going by the Knights.
UCF's fortunate now that they're up 1 point. You know, they're not playing real well early, Carter. They got to get it together while UConn is struggling a little bit on the half-court offense.
Price, the point guard, gets it up top, guarded by O'Donnell. And now back to Dyson. He and Adrian play the 2-man game. Stanley Robinson misses badly. Robinson, who hit his first shot, but has missed his last 2 looks.
They're going to take advantage now, UCF, Carter. They got to make them pay because they're going to be explosive, these Huskies. That's what they want to do. Slow the tempo, get 6 or 7 touches, and try to get a good shot. That's great offense. Try to put them to sleep, anesthetize them. I don't know what the word means, but I figured we got a big-time director and producer.
Why does UCF like the slower tempo?
Why? Because they don't have the depth. They play 7 players. The Huskies play 10. They don't have the great athletes that UConn has. They have some good athletes, but UConn's got great athletes. If it was a track meet, it would be completely no contest.
That was tipped away off of UConn, so UCF gets to keep it, avoid the turnover. As Thabit checks back into the game with a personal. And another signature of UConn basketball under Jim Calhoun, substituting freely. This is Taylor, UCF's leading scorer, giving it up to O'Donnell, who buries his second 3 of the game. O'Donnell has 6 of the 11 points for UCF. Foul on the other end, however.
Yeah. O'Donnell is a terrific 3-point shooter. He's a 5th-year senior. I coached against him when I was at the University of Virginia. He was at NC State. He transferred, sat out a year, Carter, as you mentioned, when they played each other in the NCAA tournament. He was sitting out that year, and he's a very cerebral player. Terrific 3-point shooter, wants to be a coach. He'll be a great coach one day. 2
weeks ago, he graduated with a degree in interpersonal and organizational communication. So he is officially now a UCF alumnus out there playing point guard for UCF. And it's a good start for O'Donnell canning those 2 threes, because coming into this game, he was 7 of his last 33, 21% in the last 3 games. But he was playing so many minutes, Pete, that 11-day break, maybe freshening up the legs.
Exactly. He has to play a lot of minutes. He gets beat up during the games. Last year, as you know, Cardi had a marvelous season, helped him win 22 games. And this year he's been struggling a little bit because not as much depth. An injury to Mike Battle, the senior. Bays, the freshman, out for the season with a torn ACL. So he's playing a lot of minutes, getting banged around.
Dyson gets 1 of 2, but UConn gets to keep it. Craig Austrian to run the point now for UConn. Dougie Wiggins in the game as well.
UConn comes at you in waves and waves. Waves and more waves.
Jeff Adrian over Stanley Billings.
That's with the UConn staff. They want Adrian to stay inside. You know, go in, stay in the paint. Get in bloody nose lane. Don't go outside, try to be pretty.
UCF can't get the back door, so Dyson and UConn on the run. Adrian underneath. That's why they want him to stay down low.
That was Coach Spiro's biggest worry. Turnovers leading into fast breaks and easy baskets for the Huskies. That's his worst nightmare. Too many turnovers for UCF.
4 in the early going. And a 1-point UConn lead. Noel down the baseline finds Billings. Has it spin out. Zondervan the tip follow.
He's got to dunk that Carter. When it gets in the lane, pipe the ball. Don't try to go up there off the glass. That's soft. Pipe it.
The beat wants it on the low post. Dyson can't get it to him. So back out to the top for Wiggins.
They're trying to front him in the post. If we see the big guy, 6'11", all right, trying to front the beat, 7'3".
Wiggins misses his look. Adrian an offensive board. Adrian misses in tight, and Billings finally gets the rebound. Dyson can't get the charge call, so Noel right down the lane. Zondervan swatted out. Second block for the beat.
You got to dunk that. He went up soft.
Austria looking for the screen from Adrian. Fighting off the defender Taylor. And getting a look for Doug Wiggins. That's a long 2, and it's a 1-point Husky lead.
UCF is getting tired with this pace. It's too fast. They got to slow down. Right? Huskies have played 9 guys already. They've only played 7.
Taylor cans it over the beat.
Got to get him the ball. Get him more shots.
UCF's leading scorer Taylor has 5 in the early going. Adrian tied up, and a foul called on Billings. Dive into the floor trying to get over Jeff Adrian. And now it's time for the Icy Hot Injury Report. Thankfully for the Huskies, not much to report in the Icy Hot Injury Report. For UCF, you have Mike Battle, a senior guard, out indefinitely. They hope to have him back in the next couple of weeks. Chris Baez, a freshman guard who's a great shooter, who's out for the season with a torn ACL.
Coach Calhoun now, he's sizing it up. He knows this is a big game. To get confidence, get ready for ACC play. And Coach Spiro, he's fighting for his life right now.
To start, Big East played 2 straight road games. So it's 3 road games in a row for the UConn Huskies. They won only 2 last year. Doug Wiggins cans that 3. 2-point advantage for the Huskies.
Now, if I'm UCF, I'm thinking about playing some zone, Carter. You know what I mean? It's starting to get a little bit of a rhythm now. All right? Play some zone.
Wiggins feeling hot. He's hit the last 2 threes for UConn for number 3, Doug Wiggins. Timeout, UCF.
Good timeout.
He can't be happy with the tempo at this point, can he?
I think it's too fast, Carter. Once again, it's a lot different over on the bench. The players are excited. You want them to play. But the 3-point shots, that's key. There's Wiggins again. Nice pass from Price off a double screen. Bang. We see another one here in transition. He pulls up on his own. Wiggins nails it. He's their energy off the bench. He's their drink. He's their Red Bull drink that you like to drink harder sometimes, right? Away from the court, he's their Red Bull. And, you know, he's doing a nice job. Giving him energy, giving him enthusiasm. He's a tough coach. He wants playing time. Give me some more time, coach. Give me some burn.
And that's a tough role for Doug Wiggins because he's a guy who was a superstar player in East Hartford, Connecticut High School Player of the Year. Here he is, a freshman in a stacked backcourt where he's behind guys like A.J. Price and behind even guys like Craig Austrie and yet Jerome Dyson. And he's asked to come off the bench, give instant offense, and then go back and sit down and let those guys get back in the basketball game.
Exactly. That's why Connecticut is so tough. Jerome Dyson, their leading scorer, has 1 point. They come in, they don't blink. Bring in Wiggins, all right? Bring in Beverly's ready to come in, the freshman off the bench. He might get some time, all right? Austrie, they got waves and waves. You have to have a lifeguard to play against this guy.
Noel with the big guys, and he gets fouled by Gavin Edwards. So Dave Noel, the senior from Boynton Beach, Florida, earns a trip to the free throw line when we come back. UCF trying to hang in it with UConn, trailing by 5. The only other hardwood matchup between UConn and UCF, 2005 NCAA tournament. Marcus Williams, Hilton Armstrong getting UConn out to a hot start. Charlie Villanueva's 3 made it 16 points at the break. Gary Johnson leading the comeback effort for UCF, finishing with 7 threes in the game. But a very talented Husky team. Too much for UCF to overcome. A 6-point win for UConn over UCF, amazingly. 14 NCAA trips for UConn under Jim Calhoun. They have never lost a first-round game, but UCF made that one interesting.
It's an incredible accomplishment to win every round of the first round. 14 in a row is great, but UCF gave him a great battle. Kirk Spearow is a tremendous coach. Very, underappreciated, and nationally coaches know what a great coach he is. He was coach of the year, Carter, as you know, in Conference USA last season. Got 22 wins. I thought he should have been in the NIT, but he was not picked, and unfortunately, they missed the postseason last year.
No, 2 years ago, UCF was in the Atlantic Sun. So that when you Atlantic Sun champ going up against a powerhouse from the Big East, a team with 5 NBA guys.
Big difference. Here's a 1-2-2 3-quarter zone press. Back to the zone is my guess. I like that move by Coach Spearow. Now let's make them prove from the outside. They might, but make UConn prove it if you're a UCF fan.
Dyson steps in and misses the J. Billings there for the rebound. UCF has an early 13-8 rebounding advantage on UConn.
That's shocking right now because UConn beats their opponent on the boards by an average almost 12 rebounds per game.
And UCF has not been good there. That's a goaltend. Count the bucket. Give it to Jermaine Taylor as the beat was going for the block.
Drives in here, puts it off the glass. A little bit too late by the big guy. Goaltend. Back into their 1-2-2, soft press, back to the 2-3 zone. Now, why do they do that? They want UConn to play against them twice. Try to make them think a little bit, slow them down, make it prove 3. UConn is streaky from threes. They can hit some, but they're not consistent.
Down to Adrian, who hits it with 2 defenders right in his face. He has 8 of the UConn's 22.
Good sign for the Huskies. The big guy staying inside, and they're getting him the rock. Let the big dog eat. Get him the ball.
Taylor trying to get free on the wing. He'll circle through to the corner and give it back to Jermaine Taylor. Buries the 3. Taylor has 10. And we're even at 22.
UCF stays in there, 2-3 zone. I like that. If you're a UCF fan, all right, pack it in. Now don't let Adrian get the ball too deep. He's beating up Billings.
To the weak side, Dyson cans the 3.
That's trouble now. He's a microwave. He can hit 5 of them in his half.
UConn only averages 5 threes a game. They have 3 already. Noel turns it over. Question whether Thabit had touched that ball. He did not, so it's a UCF turnover. And that is now 5 UCF turnovers. How about Connecticut? Correction, it's 3 threes in the game now for Connecticut. They average only 5 threes a game.
Well, they're streaky once again. They get the ball to the big guys a lot, but they had trouble shooting threes. Last year they were 31% from threes. This year a little better, about 33%. But they're not consistent. That's their word, Cole. Consistency. They want more of that from their team on offense. They're consistent on defense, but not on offense.
Chip Cartwright checks into the game for UCF for Mike O'Donnell. Stanley Robinson throws it away for UConn, so Noel on the other end. Blocking foul underneath. Count the bucket. It's on Robinson, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Good call by the official. It was a close call, but he did step in at the last second. Good call, block, and possibly had 1. Push to break. Cartwright kicks it ahead. 1 dribble. Noel goes to the basket. The senior finishes it. Got it. Nice penetration. When you go into the glass, Carter, as we know, use the glass.
This is the guy, Pete, you said, Dave Noel, that UCF has really relied on in the first 10 games of the year.
He's indispensable to their team. Plays tremendous defense, poise, takes good shots, attacks the basket very well. He's a very fine player. He's the one guy that UCF, the coaches told us they can't lose him. Can't get hurt, can't get in foul trouble.
Even at 25, 9 minutes to go in the first in Orlando.
Back to the 2-3 zone. Good strategy. Just keep it in tight. Make them beat you over the top.
Adrian gets doubled. Wiggins tries the three. Can't get it. Rebound UCF as the Knights continue to control the boards.
Now slow the tempo down if you're UCF. Play a little slower. Put them to sleep. Don't get carried away with the crowd and the emotion. If you're UConn, let's pick up the defense a little bit, right? Let's pressure. Let's get some steals. Let's get some deflections.
Taylor off the high screen. Long two. Won't go, and Adrian has the board.
That was a contested three. You don't want that if you're UCF.
A.J. Price has it tipped away. Just the third Connecticut turnover, but this one could be costly as UCF has a chance to take the lead. Cartwright, great look for Zondervan. Off of the block from Thabit, it spins in, and UCF takes the lead.
He got lucky, got a piece of that, but just the ball just creeped in the basket. They're back to their 1-2-2, soft press, back to their 2-3 zone. Crowd's getting into it a little bit now, Carter.
Price ties it at 27.
He's a terrific player, A.J. Price. We recruited him when I was at University of Virginia. Nice young man. His dad, Tony Price, as you know, played at University of Pennsylvania. They went to the Final Four in 1979.
UConn on the run. This is Dyson, avoids the charge, but can't finish. Zondervan the board.
Dyson's coming out. Mark it down. Calhoun didn't like that one.
There's a timeout on the next dead ball. We'll see if Dyson comes back on the floor out of that.
Little 2-3 zone by the Huskies.
Tony Davis, ill-advised three.
Boy.
Tony Davis may be coming out of the game as well.
He knew it too. He hit his chest a couple of times. Feel it, and Houston at UMass. It's a great game there. Tom Pender's going against an excellent UMass team.
Well, Pete, apparently Jim Calhoun got his message during the timeout to Jerome Dyson. He comes back on the floor.
I was wrong once again. Dyson's a great player, but he's not playing up to his capability. But that'll change, I'm sure, real soon. Look at this. Wow. Coach Calhoun got on that official, right? And he got his message. Hall of Fame guy yells at you, you're going to get the message. Coach Spiro didn't like it. Now he's complaining. UCF goes to a 2-3 zone on their out-of-bounds defense. Try to pack it in, make him shoot over the top.
That foul's on Noel's first. To the deep corner, Dyson buries the three.
He's going to keep shooting. It's his second three.
9 points in the game now for Dyson. And UConn has made 4 threes in this first half, playing partially against the zone.
Now UConn says, all right, 2-3 zone. Turnabout is fair play. 2-3 zone by the Huskies now. Try to get O'Donnell a shot or Noel.
O'Donnell now playing the 2 with Cartwright running the point. Noel has an open look. Can't get it. Long rebound for Wiggins, and UConn on the run.
Good move by Coach Calhoun because the big guys don't score real well for UCF.
UConn is hot from outside. That's Price canning the 3, and that is now 5 threes in the game. 5 of 9 from three-point for a UConn team that doesn't necessarily shoot the 3 that well. Now they got 9 in the game against Gonzaga.
Right. They're streaky, Carter. You know, they'll make it hot right now. Will they continue? That's the question.
Technical foul just called on Zondervan. He got tied up. Coming off the floor, he flipped the basketball. It hit Doug Wiggins in the knee. So Zondervan gets teed up.
A little frustrated. Once again, he's banging with these big fellas. He got knocked around. He's a little emotional. He's done a real good job. He's a blue-collar player for UCF. You got to keep your poise, keep your composure, especially against a great, talented team like UConn.
And give Doug Wiggins credit for not retaliating at all.
Yep. UConn's on a roll right now. They're very streaky. You don't want to give Dyson now, the shooter, any more looks at the basket because he can wind up with another couple of threes before this half is over.
Dyson, 76% foul shooter to the line for UConn, who was not, as a team, shot the ball great from the foul stripe for the first 10 games. They're 67% in this game now, 5 of 7. Dyson gets one of 2 technicals, and this is where the technical foul happened. See, after the scrum, Zondervan, after the jump ball is called, swings a little elbow, and then for good measure,
throws the ball. Frustration, you can't do that.
Dyson also gets first base because it got him in the knee.
Yeah, but you hustle, but you got to try to keep your poise, even though it's hard. The emotion of a game, Carter, guy's going to get upset. Not the end of the world, but can't hurt your team.
Inadvertent whistle there. Inadvertent. A 9-0 UConn run to take a 34-27 advantage.
Coach Spiro brings in now Jermaine Taylor, their second best three-point shooter. That's good.
It's almost like you coached this game before, Pete.
He's their guy. Coach Spiro is a great coach. It was a great move. You got 2 great coaches. Coach Calhoun's a Hall of Fame coach. Coach Spiro does a great job with what he's got. Winston Churchill, do the best you can, where you are, what you got. Coach Kiro. Once again, 2-3 zone by the Huskies. He said, we need another shooter in there. Let's get Jermaine back. Bang.
Taylor 3 for 3 from behind the arc. He has 13 of UCF's 30 points in the game.
He's their go-to guy. Carter, as you mentioned before, he didn't start his first 2 years, first-year starter. He's adjusting to becoming a go-to guy. He's the man right now, you know, replacing Josh Peppers from last season. Stanley Robinson back in is an outstanding athlete for the Huskies.
Dyson nearly got the pick. Cartwright swatted out by Thabit. Third block of the game for the sophomore from Tanzania, Hashim Thabit.
Nice move by Cartwright here. Nice crossover dribble by Cartwright. Goes in, too late. But it's got to happen then. You go to the rim, you see the big hand go up, dish it to the big guy. And the big guy's got to dunk it.
A lot of whistles in the last couple of minutes. That one is on A.J. Price. And that is now the 6th team foul. Rather, is that now the 7th team foul on UConn? I believe it is. 5th. All right. Now we have that straight first on A.J. Price. That's for certain.
Yep. Man-to-man defense now by the Huskies on the out of bounds. They're mixing it up. Ooh, wow.
Donald called for the walk.
Coach Calhoun's getting on the officials pretty hard now. You know what I mean? They're getting a little nervous. I think he's intimidating them a little bit. It's a coach's job. It's part of the game. Coach Spiro's fighting for his life now. He's back to the zone by UCF. Hanging in there, down 4. Got to play Dyson. He's their shooter right now.
This is A.J. Price. Dyson's in the corner. And now Price off the screen from Adrian.
Not sure what defense they're in.
Whatever defense it was, it produces a turnover.
No, the zone caused a turnover. I think Price wasn't. That's it. Now you got to dunk it, big fella. Attack the basket and dish.
Banks it in anyway, so that was Cartwright who got swatted away the first time. This time he gets the assist. However, Dyson on the other end misses the 3. Billings can't get the board. Battle for it, won by Adrian, who earns a trip to the free throw line. This is the UConn Husky team that we have come to know. The block shots. Robinson got it started and then Thabit with 3, giving him now 30 blocks in the last 5.5 games. 37 blocks on the young season for the 7'3" big man from Hashim Thabit. You talk to the people around UConn and they say, yeah, from year to year, Hashim Thabit has gotten a lot better. He spent the summer working with Emeka Okafor for a while in LA, John Lucas in Houston, developing his game. But they say now it's to the point where Hashim Thabit gets better just about every practice, every day. Not only blocking shots, but scoring, shooting with the free throw. Now he can step out and hit a little 5-footer. Offensive board, second chance for the Huskies since Dyson to the line again.
The UCF big men are not quick jumpers. You know, they don't get off their feet very fast, so they got to do a better job boxing out, and the guards got to help them a little bit more. As you said, Carter, the rebounding now is starting to turn.
And that's now 3 fouls on Stanley Billings, so Zondervan will come back into the game. As Stanley Billings picks up his 3rd, but 4.5 remaining in the half. That's been a big problem for Stanley Billings, the 29-year-old 6'11" post player.
Gavin Edwards comes in for the Huskies. Now they just keep rolling big guys in. Curtis Kelly, young man from Rice High School in Manhattan, hasn't played yet. He's an outstanding big guy. Everybody in the country wanted him, so UConn is blessed with an abundance of talent. abundance of depth.
Have another good one coming from Rice High School next year. Kimball Walker, a 6'2" point guard. So a 5-point lead for UConn. First road game of the year for Connecticut. Playing on an opponent's home floor. And then they have at Seton Hall, at Notre Dame, their next two to open up Big East play.
It's a great scheduling move by Coach Calhoun. Let's get out, right? Play a road game right before conference play. Get tested.
Taylor penetrating for Davis. 8 seconds to shoot here. Taylor gets it back and misses the beat, the rebound. And as you said, Pete, the rebounding starting to go UConn's way. It is still a 1 rebound advantage for UCF, but the Huskies starting to control the boards as you expected them to do from the start.
Right. UCF's back to their 2-3 zone. They're mixing it up. Man-to-man and zone. Now we got a 2-3 zone. Gonna play Dyson now. He's going to bury a 3 if you don't play him.
Instead, he cuts to the lane. Charging foul. Zondervan draws the charge. It's on Dyson, his second. At the under 4 timeout, a frustrated Jim Calhoun because of the foul on Dyson, but his Huskies still with a 5-point advantage.
Maybe get to the free throw line.
How about for Jim Calhoun and UConn when your first road game of the year, it's a 5-point game. Obviously, UConn has the lead. They have control of the basketball game right now, but you don't want to let that slip away before the break, do you?
Exactly. They don't want to just be up 1 or 2. They like to push it to 9 or 10 or 11. Right? UCF like to go in there 5 or below. Why? Because then they have the confidence they can win. The longer they're in the game, Carter, the more chance they have to steal this victory.
Taylor down the baseline. Gets around Thabit and finishes. Foul on the big man, Hashim Thabit. Taylor has done all of the heavy lifting in the first half. That is now 15 for the junior.
Playing tremendously. Nice drive. Shot fake. Boom. Double clutch. Got it. Another look. Same play. Boom. Up and up. Nice move. Up and under. Great finish by the junior. Jermaine Taylor. The beat now. Foul trouble. He's getting a little nervous.
Pete, they actually gave that foul to Robinson, which I thought it was on Thabit as well, but Robinson picks up the foul. That is his second, and Thabit gets to stay in there with only 1 personal foul.
My mistake. I thought Thabit got that. Little 1-2-2, 3/4 court zone press by UCF. Try to slow them down, change defenses, make UConn think. The more they think, all right, the less their athleticism can step forward.
Wiggins nearly throws it away. That went off of O'Donnell's foot. Do not reset the shot clock. 22 for UConn to work with on the possession.
If I'm UConn, I'm going into the big guy, Jeff Adrian. The big dog eat. Get it to the big fella. He's a better offensive player than Thabit.
Adrian wanted it. Instead, whip it back out to Craig Austrie, who's running the point. Wiggins and Price, with Price running the point, with Austrie and Wiggins with him in the backcourt, along with Thabit and Jeff Adrian. 8 to shoot, 7 to shoot. Price with 3 to shoot. Long 3, rattles home. 5-point advantage again for the Huskies.
That was a dagger by the junior from Amityville, Long Island. Big-time shot from big-time player.
We asked Jim Calhoun, who's the guy who's going to bring the swagger back? He pointed right at A.J. Price and said, that's the guy. We need him to have the swagger. Noel answers with 2 on the other end.
He's a 4th-year junior. He's been around a long time. Coming out of high school, he's one of the top point guards in the country. And before he missed those 2 years with the illness and the problems off the court, he was a great player.
Actually suspended from the school for 1 semester after he came back from a condition called AVM. It was a life-threatening condition. Cost him his freshman year. Noel down the baseline. Finds Taylor, the hot hand. Can't get it to go. Noel hustling for the rebound and the stick back.
Sing Noel.
So holiday time, it's Noel.
He's the one guy, they said, the most indispensable player. Plays the D, does the dirty work. Got a big, big heart. This game is not only big for UCF, it's big for Conference USA.
Price off the screen from Thabit. Wiggins finds Adrian on the backside and a blocking foul on Tony Davis. That's the third on the sophomore Tony Davis. How big is this last play from Dave Noel?
Unbelievable. Great skip pass. Shot fake is missed by Jermaine Taylor. Unbelievable. Rips it away from the beat. Takes it to the rim, right to the butter. Got it.
Now, mind you, Thabit has a foot on Dave Noel. Noel's a 6'3" guy. Thabit's 7'3". Noel beat him to the board.
He's got a big heart. Not the size of the dog in a fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. So that time, right, in that little fight, he won. But Thabit's doing a great job, but got to give Noel a lot of credit.
Adrian with 10 first-half points. Guy who's preseason All-Big East. Although he disappeared in the Memphis game, one of the two losses, had only 6 points on 4 of 8 shooting against Joey Dorsey and the Memphis Tigers. It's 1 of 2 on that trip. The UConn lead is 2.
Getting pretty physical in there. There's a banging bodies. Ooh.
Taylor looks like he went down awkwardly underneath. Noel finishing again underneath with a reverse. Tied at 41.
Gotta love that senior, boy. He's playing with a big heart.
Timeout, UConn.
We got a ball game, Carter, right now. Got to give a lot of credit.
Noel has the last 4 for UCF.
Baseline shot fake, go to the rim, take it to the baseline. The beat can't move quick enough. He used the rim as a protector, right? So the beat couldn't block it, used the glass. Bang, great move, great finish by the senior, all right, Dave Noel.
So we're even at 41, a minute 9 before the half. Coming up at the half, we'll send you to Greg Amsinger in the field house. We'll look at some more great shot blockers. The Georgetown centers, both past and present, with Roy Hibbert, as well first half stats and highlights. That's coming up at the break.
Now, if you're UCF, if I can go into the halftime tied or down 2, I'm ecstatic, right? If I get the lead, it's beyond ecstatic. Nice move by UCF. 1-2-2, zone press, back to the zone.
Carter Blackburn with Pete Gillen, our entire CSTV crew from UCF Arena in Orlando, where UCF has scored 12 points off Connecticut turnovers. And a whistle to stop the action near midcourt. There was some kind of discrepancy, I think, between the shot clock and the game clock. Should have been one more tick off the shot clock.
Now, if I'm the Huskies, I'm going inside to Adrian. Right? Let the big dog eat. Get it to the big fella. He's excited. His senses are heightened. Get him the ball.
Adrian has 10 points, 5 rebounds on 4 of 6 shooting in the first half for UConn. So when he's touched it, he's been productive.
I'll look for him a little bit more. Either jump shot for Price, like him to shoot it, or Adrian. Well, the other guys can hit it. That's what I would do if I'm the Huskies. Try to get it to your leader, your point guard, or your big guy underneath.
This is Price looking for Adrian at the high post. Off the screen, Price loses the handle. 10 seconds to shoot for the Huskies. Price off another Adrian screen. Leaning in. Thabit slams it home.
Great play by Price. He's answered the bell. When they need a big bucket, he's been a catalyst. Either hitting a pull-up jump shot or outstanding pass to Thabit on the left side.
4th assist of the half for A.J. Price. Shot clock turned off. UConn gets a chance to tie or take the lead.
Big thing now if you're UCF, you don't want to shoot too quickly. Don't let the Huskies come down and score at the buzzer. That would be devastating.
So UConn's out pressuring the ball, trying to initiate just that.
Don't commit a foul now if you're the Huskies.
Noel refuses the screen, turns it over. Run out chance for Austrie. Can't finish, no foul called. And it's a 2-point game at the break. So UConn got a look after all. Austrie couldn't get it in the open court. No foul called. And the 8-2 UConn Huskies lead by just 2 at the break in Orlando. And UCF has to be, in your words, ecstatic about a 2-point game at the break.
They got to be thrilled. Once again, they got a chance. The longer the game goes, the more chance they have to upset this great Huskies team.
It's a 2-point game at the break. We'll send you to the field house and Greg Amsinger up to your...
We're hugging each other, we're mugging, we're hugging, kissing everybody. We're ecstatic. All right, he beat me like a drum a lot of times when we got that one in 1994-95.
Now, I'll just point out from that flashback, and look at Pete's hair today. I mean, still just red and
Nothing's going on.
Fresh.
People that have patches up there, nothing going on. After the hair, it ain't worth a damn.
UConn and UCF, so the Knights trying to pull off another upset like that, like Pete Gillen did back in 1995. Here's your leading scorers from the first half. Jermaine Taylor, who averages 18 a game and 16 in the first half. Noel with 11. And then for UConn, Jerome Dyson, their leading scorer, gets 12 in the first half. Jeff Adrian with 10 to lead the UConn Huskies. You see Stanley Billings down there at the bottom of the screen giving some big minutes for UCF in the low post. He has 3 personals, but this is a guy, believe it or not, who did not play high school basketball. And this is going back 10, 11, 12 years ago. When he came out of high school, Oak Ridge High School here in Orlando, he joined the Marine Corps, served 8 years as a chef in the Marine Corps. So he was in places like Iraq, Cuba, Kuwait, Japan, Camp Lejeune, Quantico, Virginia. He grew 5 inches while he was in the Marine Corps, started playing organized basketball, and the guys in the Marines said, guess what, you're a pretty good player. So he started playing on some of the Marine teams during his trips around the world. When he came out, ended up at Independence Community College in Kansas and was a highly touted junior college recruit. Came back to play his 4-year college basketball in Orlando, Florida. He is now 29 years old. He is the oldest Division I basketball player in the country.
It's a spring chicken, but it's a great story, great for UCF, great for the young man.
So he wanted to pass along holiday greetings to all the servicemen and women serving abroad right now, because he remembers the holidays serving abroad. UConn nearly turns it over on the opening possession of the second half. Dyson in tight. Billings got a piece of that one. UConn gets to keep it with 8 seconds because it was off of Billings.
Coach Calhoun wanted a foul. Once again, that was a break for the Huskies. That could have been down the other way for a layup. Coach Calhoun's been getting on the officials. He does a great job with that, and that's gamesmanship. That's part of the game.
Short clock, get it to Adrian. 6 seconds to work with. Adrian in the bigs, he walked. Another UConn turnover. That's now 8 turnovers for UConn, but most importantly, Pete, 12 points off turnovers for UCF in the first half.
12-2. That was really amazing, because usually the Huskies, with their athleticism and their great defense, they cause the turnovers and get the easy baskets. It's been flip-flop. The Huskies are shooting great from 3. Usually they don't, so it's kind of an atypical game for both teams.
This is Billings backing in on the beat. Billings with the hook, can't get it to go. Zondervan can't get the follow. A UConn rebound. Dyson trying to pressure Taylor, and he got a foul called on Jermaine Taylor.
Jerome Dyson is an assassin in the open court. He just attacks the basket. He's relentless. He's an outstanding player. He's going to be one of the great guards in UConn's history before it's done.
Obviously one of the better guards in the Big East, in part because of that 6'4" frame. You see, he can put it on the floor, he can score, he can shoot with a couple of threes in the first half, but he can rebound as well. 2 in this game, but he's averaging 5 rebounds a game. Not great shooting numbers for Dyson, just 2 of 7.
No, he only had 12 points in the first half. He didn't have a great first half, but still 12 points, so he can wind up getting 30 tonight if he has a real good second half.
6 of those from the free throw line, and he gets 7 now from the free throw strike. So what does Jim Calhoun tell his team at the break when you're in a tough road game, 2-point game at the half against the UCF team who's only 500?
He says, rebound, rebound, rebound. We're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. We're losing the battle of the boards to a weak rebounding team, 19-15. So we got to be more aggressive. We're sleeping a little bit. Vacation's over.
UConn's been down here in Orlando since Christmas night.
Sometimes you get a little lethargic, a little bit. Maybe not showing the complete respect for the other team that they needed to. I know the coaches did, but maybe the players did.
The UConn team who won only 2 road games all of last year. They were 2-8 away from home last season. This is their first true road game of the year. The first of 3 road games in this stretch of the season for the Huskies.
Good move by Coach Calhoun. Get them ready for Big East play, because as you know, last year they started 11-0, went on the road. A couple of times they got beat.
Taylor hits his first look of the second half. 18 in the game now for Jermaine Taylor.
When you're hot, you're hot. Keep going to him. He's their go-to guy. Keep getting him the ball.
Adrian misses his first look at the second half. Robinson there for the stick back.
He's going to pound the glass. Unbelievable athletes on the front line for UConn.
Robinson has only 4, a game after he had 32 versus Maine. It's been one of the issues with Stanley Robinson, inconsistency. So after only 2 points in the first half, Stanley Robinson getting the offensive board and second chance points.
Bad shot by Jeff Adrian, a forced shot. Great athletic move by Stanley Robinson, the sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama.
He's been getting tips from Rudy Gay on the mid-range game. Obviously, Rudy Gay, Connecticut alum, who's now starring for the Memphis Grizzlies, having an all-star caliber season for Memphis. In part because he's found that mid-range game in his NBA career. So he's telling Stanley Robinson via the text and via the email, you can get that mid-range game going, you can become a great scorer like me.
Certainly, he has outstanding talent. He's got a chance to be special, Robinson, but he's got to be a little more consistent, a little more aggressive. He's a great athlete working on his skills. 1-2-2, three-quarter court, zone press by UCF that we saw in the first half, back to his zone.
Wiggins finds Adrian, who draws the foul by Stanley Billings, which will be number 4 on the 6'11" UCF center, Stanley Billings.
Attacking. UConn did a nice job attacking the press. Different ways to go against the court. Get it over and pull it out, run your half-court offense. UConn's aggressive, right? Attack, trying to score.
11 in the game now for Jeff Adrian, who's had a double-double in his last couple of games. He now has 11 points, 5 rebounds in this one. Billings has to sit, and this will be an issue for UCF in the second half, the depth. They're just simply like a shallow end of a kiddie pool depth-wise.
Yeah, big disparity. Tony Davis, the sophomore from here in Florida, they're dying for him to step up. He's got to play, right? He's not being aggressive enough.
Taylor turns it over. Rare misstep for Jermaine Taylor, who's played great tonight with 19. It's turnover number 8 for UCF.
Played 18 minutes the first half quarter, so he's going to get tired because he's getting pounded by the defense of the Huskies, you know, and how much could he do?
A.J. Price resets the offense, covered up by Mike O'Donnell. Price wants to take it right at him, instead flips it to Wiggins. Price cans the 3. A.J. Price wanted to shoot the ball.
Yeah, he had it in his eye. He was thinking going one-on-one, and he got it. Big-time shot by a big-time player.
He is 3 of 4 from behind the arc.
It's danger time now for UCF. Connecticut come out real strong.
Davis off a nice look from Noel. Great ball movement in the half court from UCF.
That's a signature Kirk Spearow team. Run your offense, cuts, get a good shot. He does a wonderful job executing in the half court man-to-man offense.
Noel gets the assignment on Price this time down. Dyson finding Wiggins. They want the beat. Doubled on the low post, and Thabit throws it away from the low post. It rolls into the backcourt, where Price knocks it out for a safety. Here's that half-court ball movement, Pete.
Good offense. They swung it from one side to the other. Baseline cut, threw it underneath, going to the basket. That was a good basket. Great execution by an excellent coach, Kirk Spearow. They don't appreciate him enough here. They appreciate him when he goes on the road to Nevada, when he goes on the road different places. But unfortunately, in Florida here, whatever reason, Carter, right, he's not getting the respect he deserves.
O'Donnell misses a long 2 off the inbound. UCF gets to keep it. Well, certainly the league coaches respect Kirk Spearow, including, John Calipari goes undefeated in Conference USA last season, and he's not voted the coach of the year. Kirk Spearow is, finishing second place. Taylor misses a 3 off the inbound. UCF almost got a third chance, but they say it's off Tony Davis. Steve Olson says UConn ball.
2 big threes. They needed that to stay within striking distance of the Huskies. Huskies are very volatile. They can explode any minute. It could be a 12-point lead.
Price walks it up. This time it's O'Donnell on Price. This is the matchup that A.J. Price exploited a couple of trips ago, and he wants it back. A.J. Price feeling the hot hand. Now, that is another backcourt violation. Calhoun thought it was touched by a UCF player. The officials say no, so it is another UConn turnover. 10 in the game now for the Huskies.
Calhoun doesn't like it. He's talking to himself. He's talking to the bench. He's talking to the fans. He's frustrated. He's a great coach. A little frustrated right now by their half-court offensive execution.
UCF needs a bucket. O'Donnell can't give it to him. UConn gets it back with a 5-point advantage. Foul called. Jermaine Taylor. That will be just his second personal. UCF hanging around. Can UConn explode? Up 5. And then stops throughout Florida and 15 years at UCF.
Tremendous coach, very well respected in the profession, but Coach of the Year almost every place he's been. Last year, Conference USA Coach of the Year. He does a great job with what he has. He doesn't have a lot of talent this year, Carter, but he's doing a marvelous job staying within striking distance of this terrifically talented Huskies team.
Huge step up for this program from the Atlantic Sun. Swatted away by Tony Davis. UConn gets it back to finish the thought, going from the A-Sun to Conference USA in 3 years. 7 seconds to shoot here. Price driving in on O'Donnell. Price, leaner. Falls. A.J. Price likes the matchup against Mike O'Donnell.
He's a Terminator. He's made every big play. When they needed a basket, he's made every play, my opinion, this evening.
Taylor off the weave, picks up his dribble, and back to Dave Noel. Right down the lane. Noel can't get it around the beat, and a foul underneath on UConn. It's on Gavin Edwards, which will be his second. That is now the 13th foul against UConn.
Once again, they're like hitting him in a battle, like a boxer. They're playing 9 guys against 7 for UCF. It's a big difference, and these Husky guys are great athletes.
Zondervan gives it right back to Taylor. We're 5 minutes into the second half. UConn expanding a 2-point halftime lead to 7. Taylor and Zondervan both miss inside, battled for the rebound, won by UConn. A run-out chance for Dyson, and the Huskies count it and one. A chance to make this a 10-point game.
Very explosive team. They just couldn't finish. Good hustle by both teams. Huskies get it. Dyson's a Terminator in the open court. Finish it. Great left hand. He can score with either hand, right or left. Tough shot. Tremendous player. He might be following the footsteps of Rip Hamilton, all right, and the great players that have played here at the Huskies at the 2-guard spot. Certainly Ray Allen, people like that. He could be one of those guys down the road. He's not there yet.
Completes the 3-point play. Double-digit advantage for UConn, biggest of the night.
We got Wiggins now on Jermaine Taylor, the fine scorer for UCF. Wiggins coming after him, see if he can stop him.
Hard screen from Zondervan. Taylor got the open look, but couldn't can the 3. Taylor's lost his shooting touch in the second half.
They're getting tired. Fatigue makes cowards of us all, and right now UCF's getting very tired. They're getting beat up physically. They just don't have the depth and the athleticism to stay with this Huskies team.
And Noel gets a foul on the other end. Second personal on Noel.
Stanley Robinson back in the game for UConn.
Robinson in the game now for UConn. So Robinson to beat Wiggins, Adrian, and Jerome Dyson. The 5 for Jim Calhoun. Robinson gets a touch off the inbound and a push-off foul against Hashim Thabit. That's his second.
Good out-of-bounds play by the Huskies. Nice shot. It's a miss. Zondervan's fighting with the beat. Just pushed him away. Could have gone either way. No call on that one. I would have let that go.
This is Taylor, covered up by Wiggins, who's done a good job defensively on Jermaine Taylor in the second half. Noel guarded by Robinson. Gives it up, whip it around to Taylor. There's 9 seconds to shoot for UCF. O'Donnell, deep 3 goes.
Biggest basket of the game for UCF. They were down 10, now they got a chance. All right, now within striking distance.
O'Donnell's hit 3 threes in the game. Adrian across the lane, tipped out of there by Noel. UCF on the run, down by 7. O'Donnell can't get it. Rebound Thabit.
Needed that one if you're a UCF fan. That was a wide open look. He's getting run down too.
Robinson.
What's going on? It's a football game. That's something. Guys are getting tackled. They do that on the street, they get arrested.
Robinson cleans it up. Calhoun pleading with Jeff Adrian to get back and play defense rather than focus on the contact. And then UConn gets whistled on the other end. And that's 4 on Stanley Robinson now.
Look at the count. That's a foul. There's a foul. He ran him over. He ripped his arm. We heard the snap. Guy's getting kicked. Soccer, rugby, not hockey. What is happening?
Maybe UCF focused on the Liberty Bowl tomorrow. They play tomorrow in Memphis, George O'Leary's team, which is one of the reasons why you don't have a real packed house here tonight. Good showing from the UCF and some UConn fans here, but a lot of UCF fans at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
That time, Taylor was wide open. The best player. That's 4 on Stanley Robinson, the outstanding sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama. He's a great athlete. He's going to be a terrific player. Not there yet.
O'Donnell. Kansas' 4th 3 of the game. And he is keeping UCF in this game with a long-range shot.
I love that kid. He's got a big heart, not a lot of talent. Big heart, big ticker, playing a little bit banged up, a lot of minutes. He does the best he can with his talent.
7 threes for both these teams. Adrian spinning inside. Missed a bad look. Cartwright covered up by Dyson in the backcourt, and UCF gets a timeout. 12-11 to go in regulation, a 6-point game. UCF fifth-year senior Mike O'Donnell has 4 threes in this game. He played his freshman year at NC State. He wants to be a coach. When he came to UCF, he actually started drawing up some of the plays in the Princeton-style offense that NC State was running at the time, so that became part of the UCF offense. So even as an undergraduate, helping coach this UCF team.
Now, he's a very bright young man, very personable. I coached against him when he was at NC State and I was at Virginia. I was very impressed with him. Outstanding young man. He came back home to Florida. He's from the area. He's going to be a tremendous coach one day, and he uses everything he's got. Doesn't have a lot of ability, but he uses his talent to its fullest.
His younger brother Ben is a recruited walk-on at Florida State, was an outstanding player at Largo. And he is quite literally a coach on the floor for this UCF team. And importantly for Kirk Spiraw, he can also hit the 3, which has kept him in the game. After a 10-point lead by UCF, they're back in it. Dyson misses the dunk on the run out. So
the cut.
Chance for O'Donnell. Price the rebound. And Dyson looks to be hobbling after falling on the floor, missing the dunk. And he may have been bumped on the way up.
I think he's okay. I think he's just a little shook because it could have come down hard. He really could have been hurt.
A.J. Price with the basketball. Driving on Chip Cartwright and drawing a foul on Chip Cartwright. That's his second personal. That's now 17 fouls against UCF. Here's the run out for Dyson. See if he gets bumped on the way to the missed dunk. Nevertheless, a 6-point game.
Thought he got fouled. Should have been 2 free throws for the Huskies.
Before the break, the replay, Jerome Dyson taking a tumble on that missed dunk where he thought he got bumped. And he was hobbling after that. I mean, clearly there's contact from Tony Davis. But no call on the play. Dyson can't get the bucket.
Came down hard on that right leg, so.
Now, fortunately, he's okay. So he's gets the rest during the timeout and right back out there. UConn up 6. First road game of the year for UConn, and they got a tough one here. Jeff Adrian, however, has been tough on the low post. That's now 13 for Adrian.
He's been great in the low post when he gets the ball.
That's touched by UConn. UCF keeps it.
That was the backdoor part of the Princeton offense that gets ran, Carter, that you mentioned before, that Mike O'Donnell brought to UCF. He's getting a little blow now. He needs that rest because he's not a great athlete and he's been playing a lot of minutes.
Cartwright throws away the end. That's a cardinal sin, isn't it?
Yeah. Cartwright right now might be over his head. I don't know if you have to get O'Donnell back in. Yep, here he comes.
That didn't take long.
No, Cartwright, he's a good player, but he's a little over his head against these Huskies. Mike O'Donnell back in. Once again, he needs the rest. He has not much in his gas tank left. But, Cartwright just a little shook.
It's O'Donnell, Jean-Michael Yoto, Tony Davis Taylor, and Dave Noel on the floor for UCF. Adrian can't hit inside. Tony Davis got a piece of it. Taylor running the Knights back to the front court, down 8. UCF needs a bucket to stay in this game with UConn.
Noel likes to drive. He can't go in there with that big mountain in the lane to beat.
So back to O'Donnell. He drives in and finds Noel on the perimeter. The ball fake. Whip it around to Taylor in the corner. And Taylor finally cans a 3 in the second half. It had been a slow second half for Taylor. He buries the 3. 22 in the game now for Jermaine Taylor.
Great offense by UCF. A wonderful possession. He run the clock about 28 seconds. Buried a 3 in the left corner.
UCF keeping it close, nearing the midway point of the second half.
It's all up to threes. If they can rain threes, they got a chance to steal this game. But I don't know how much they got left.
Dyson bumped.
Great ball movement by UCF. Went one corner to the other, buried it. Jermaine Taylor in the left corner. It's a dagger.
That foul is on Dave Noel. That's his 3rd personal, and 17 fouls now against UCF. So that means that UConn gets to shoot free throws the rest of the way, including Jerome Dyson, who has 9 points from the free throw line, make it 10 points just from the free throw line tonight. He is 10 of 12 from the stripe.
Huskies are shooting 67% coming into the game from the free throw line, better than last year, which was only 62%. So they're getting better. They're going to get back to the elite. The question is when, not if.
Dyson gets them both. So even though he's only 3 of 9 from the floor, Dyson now has 19 points. Halfway through the second half, a 7-point game. Noel has to give it up. Taylor's been special tonight. You can show your love for the Huskies, the Knights, any of your teams 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Check out fanstore.com. Everything from shirts and hats to pennants, decals, stickers, buttons, bobbleheads, anything you can think of at fanstore.com. Check it out right now. Taylor has 22 in this game. He is 5 off of his career high. Mind you, this is a guy who didn't start his first 2 years for UCF. He was the 6th man off the bench. This is his first year as a starter. Physical presence, 6'4", 205. He was a great wide receiver at Tavares High School in the Orlando area. Probably could have been a Division I wide receiver, but wanted to play basketball. You can see why. When you have the potential to score 20-plus points against a team like UConn, pretty good basketball player.
Nice job by UCF. 1-2-2 zone press. All right, back to the man this time. Nice move by Wiggins. He's there. Mr. Energy off the bench. Big hoop.
Wiggins limping, coming back. Taylor misses the 3 in transition. No look from Price to Wiggins.
Zoned by UCF.
Foul on the floor before the dunk from Adrian. And so that's the last Wiggins bucket. And you can see he comes up a little bit gimpy as he goes into press row.
UConn guys can't get hurt. There's so much talent around there. They don't want to come out. But Wiggins come out of the game. Hopefully it's not too bad. Maybe just a cramp.
That foul on UCF's Tony Davis, that's his 4th, so he has to sit. Stanley Billings also has 4 personal fouls, so 2 of the 3 big men who regularly play for UCF are on the bench with 4.
Still working on Wiggins' leg. I don't know if it's his calf or his ankle. You can't see from this angle. Might be just a muscle cramp.
Adrian gets the first of the 1-1. UConn has shot well from the free throw line tonight. They're now 17 of 23 from the stripe.
It's important on the road, Carter. You got to rebound and make your free throws. You got a chance, and Huskies are rebounding just okay for them. They're doing a great job on the free throw line.
And the lead is 9 for UConn.
UCF just hanging around, but they're getting tired. I don't know how they can maintain this.
8 seconds to shoot for the Knights. Taylor launches a three. Misses it, and a rebound for UConn. A chance for UConn to take its biggest lead of the game. They've led by as many as 10 in the second half, the Huskies. Up 9 now, starting to wear down UCF on its home floor.
I think so now. UConn, let's go inside. Get it to Adrian. Give it to the big fella.
Price driving on O'Donnell. This is Dyson. The floater goes in an 11-point lead with a bucket from number 11, Jerome Dyson, who has 21.
That was a dagger. A tough shot, that floater in the lane.
UCF calls a timeout with 8:15 to go in the ball game, and UConn up by its biggest margin, 11 points now. Then you can see the trend in this second half, Pete, when just the depth and the talent of UConn really wearing down UCF after it was a 2-point break. And what a tough shot from Dyson to run it to 11.
Great play by Dyson, because in the lane, right to the hoop. Could have been a charge. Nice floater, that teardrop, that's a tough shot. Dyson's a special player. He's going to be one of the best players in the Big East this year, in my opinion. I say it's a charge of something. That's contact. That's bloody nose lane. He got run over.
Meanwhile, the Connecticut trainer's still working on Doug Wiggins.
It's like he's getting ready for a fight rather than a basketball game. Cut man.
UConn trying to run its record to 9-2. Most importantly, you have a road win for a team that went 2-8 last season. Their first 2 road games of the year were at West Virginia and at LSU last year, so they opened up conference play with a road game. Jim Calhoun said they didn't want to open conference play with their first road game of the year. So come down to Florida and play UCF and obviously get a test from these Knights as O'Donnell buries his 5th three.
Doing a great job. It's a mark of a good coach, Carter. Nailing a shot right after a timeout. Good execution after a timeout. Every time UCF comes out of a time, they get a good shot. They don't always make it, but they get a good shot.
Noel blocked by Thabit. 4 blocks in the game for Hashim Thabit.